කරණීයමන්ත කුසලේන යන්තං සන්තං පදං අභිසමිච්ඡ සක්ඛෝජුච සුජුච සුවචෝචං සමුදෝ අනතිමානි සන්තුං සකෝච සුභරෝච අම්පකින්චෝච සල්ලහුකවුන්ති සන්තින්ද්‍රියෝච නිපකෝච අම්පගම්බෝ කුලේසු අනුනුගින්දෝ නච කුන්දං සමාචරේ කිංචි යේන විඤ්ඤූ පරේ උපවදෙය්‍යං සුඛිනෝ වාකේමිනෝ හොන්තු සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා ඒකේචිපාන භූතන්ති තසවාතාවරාවා අනවසේසා දීඝාවායේ මහන්තාවා මංජිමාරංසකානුකතුලා දිට්ඨාවායේව අන්දින්තා යේච දුරේ වසන්ති අවිදුරේ භූතාවා සම්භවේසීවා සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා නපරෝ පරං නිකුම්බේත ඥාති මඤ්ඤේත කන්ත චිනං කංචි ව්‍යාරෝසනා පටික සංඥා ඥාඤ්ඤ මඤ්ඤංස දුක්ඛමිච්ඡේය මාතා යතානියං පුන්තං ආයුසා ඒක පුන්ත මනුරංකේ ඒවම්පි සම්බභූතේසු මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණං මෙත්තංච සම්බලෝකස්මින් මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණං උන්දං අදෝච තිරියංච අසංභාදං අවේරං අසපත්තං තින්ඨං චරං නිසින්නෝවා සයානෝවා යාවතංස විගතමින්දෝ ඊතං සතින් අදින්ඨේය බ්‍රහ්මමේතං විහාරං ඉදමාෝ දිට්ඨිංච අනුපගම්ම සීලවා දන්සනේන සම්පන්නෝ කාමේසු විනය්‍යගේදං නහි ජාතු ගම්බසේයං පුනරේති Ambya Panjo Sekian tanang pariharami mama pitu acariya nyati mithaca sambrahmacharino ca avera hontu ambya panja hontu anigha hontu sekian tanang pariharantu iman ming arami sambiyogino avera hontu ambya panja hontu anigha hontu sukian tanang pariharantu iman ming arami sambibingku sambibingkuni samaniraja samanirica upasaka upasikayo ca
Hello. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us first, we have the slides for the puja up on the on the screen so that we can follow. Let us wait until we sort out a little bit of technical issues. Okay. Okay. All right. Good morning once again, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Welcome to Subanjaya Buddhist Association on this morning for our Sunday Buddha Puja and Dhamma talk. Today we are happy to have Bhante Indaratana here with us to administer the three refuges and the five precepts, and also the paying homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So to begin, let us first pay homage by taking the three bows to the triple gem. Buddhang pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. And also three bows to the Sangha, represented here by Bhante Indaratana. Okay, we asked for the three refuges and five precepts. Next slide. Ahang bante sangsara vatta dukkhato mochanattaya disaranena saha panchasilang dhammang nyachami anuggahang kattva silang Detha me bhante dutiyang pi ahang bhante sangsara vatta dukkhato mocha nattaya disaranena saha pancha silang dhammang nyachami anuggahang kattva silang Detha me bhante Tatiyampi ahang bhante sangsara vatta dukkhato mochanattaya disaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yachami anuggahang kattva silang Detha me bhante
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo. Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato. Homage to him. Previous. Homage to him, the Blessed One, the Accomplished One, the perfectly self-enlightened Supreme Buddha.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. For the second time, I go to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha for refuge. For the third time, I go to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha for refuge.
Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Adinādāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Adinādāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Suramēraya majjapamā daṭṭhāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Suramēraya majjapamā daṭṭhāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi.
Imāni panca sikkhapadāni samadhiyāmi.
Imāni panca sikkhapadāni samadhiyāmi. Imāni panca sikkhapadāni samadhiyāmi. Imāni panca sikkhapadāni samadhiyāmi. I undertake the training room. Amabante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Five precepts in English, please. Yeah. The previous two slides, sorry. Yeah. Let's chant the five precepts and recite together in English to understand the meaning and to reflect on how to practice the five precepts. Let's recite together. I undertake the training rule to abstain from killing living beings. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking what is not given. I undertake the training rule to abstain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the training rule to abstain from false speech. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking anything that causes intoxication and heedlessness. I undertake the training rule to observe these 5 precepts.
Okay, let us recite this recollection of Triple Gem and followed by the verses of the Buddha Puja offering. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vinjacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuntaro purisa dhamma sarati Santa deva manusanang buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Sangdintiko akaliko Ehi pansiko opanaiko Pancantang veditambo vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chantari purisa yugani Ante purisa punggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuniyo pahuniyo Dakkiniyo anjali karaniyo Anutterang punyang khentang lokansati Vandami cetiyang sambang Sambatani supatintitang Saririka dhatu mahabodhing Buddha rupang sakalang sada Yansa mule nisingnowa Sambari wijayang aka Panto sambang yutang santa Vande tang bodhipada Imi te mahabodhi Lokanate ne pujita Ahang pite namansami Bodhi raja namantute Ganasaram padintena Dipena tamadang sena Tilokadipang sang buddhang Pujayami tamonodang Ganda sangbhara santating pujayami muning dassa siripada saroruhe pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena mitena ca hotu mongkang pumpang milayati ataidang me kayo tatayati vinasabhavang ganda sangbhara yuntena dupenahang sugandina pujaye pujaniyantang puja bhajana muntamang adhivase no bante paniyang parikampitang anukampang upadaya patiganhatu muntamang kayena vaca cintena pamadena maya katang ancayang kamami bante buri panya tatagata kayena vaca cintena pamadena maya katang ancayang kamami dhamma sangdintika akalika kayena vaca cintena pamadena maya katang ancayang kamami sangha supatipanna anuttara sadhu sadhu sadhu.
Thank you, Bante, for administering the three refuges and five precepts, and also led us in paying homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha and the recitations. We now respectfully invite Bante to we then respectfully ask Bante to perhaps sit at the side, and we will then proceed to the Dhamma talk this morning. Today's Dhamma talk is on living a life of purpose and meaning. And for all of us who are here as Buddhists, as people who are trying to lead a meaningful life, how do we as human beings do what we do in order to find meaning and lead a life of meaning? So this morning, again, we have very fortunate to have with us Brother Siang Chye, who is our lay advisor to Sumanjaya Buddhist Association. He is also the director of Nalanda Institute, and he's very much involved in the Dhamma propagation, helping people to find spiritual meaning in life. So with that, we'd like to invite Brother Siang Chye. Well, Chye can he can be.
Good morning. Hello. Good of you to come and be a part, of some Dhamma sharing and Dhamma learning, on Sunday morning. It is a good way to transition into the new week, with some reflection on the Buddha's teachings. So let me hello. Okay. Yeah, I think better hold it. So today's Dhamma sharing is on the topic of living a life of purpose and meaning. So as I do my presentation, I hope you will reflect, in your own mind, about the purpose, about the purpose that we are here living on this planet Earth. What are we doing here? Have you ever considered, what is your purpose? Why are you born? Yeah, and what do you do to uh, help yourself, your family, your friends, and the rest of the world to move one day to another day? Yeah, this has been a question I have asked myself, but I'm not sure whether other people ask themselves this question or not. Do you ever think about it? Anyone think about it? Put up your hands. Those who never think about it, go day to day, also put up your hands. Yeah. Okay, so some think and some don't. So here, I propose to look at these questions and see whether over the course of this Sunday, because I have the session this Sunday, and the other sessions that will be assigned to me, it will take a few Sundays. It's not easy to discuss this topic in just one session. And we will see how far we can go this Sunday morning, and perhaps we will extend this to other Sundays. If the question is so profound, yeah, we need more time to consider and discuss, yeah, and discuss it. And I'm very glad to, to see you here so that everybody can be part of the discussion. If you have anything to ask or anything to contribute, you may do so at the end of my sharing. Yeah, and I will be very glad to hear about your opinions on this big question. So the questions are, what is our real purpose in life? As I said, we are here. Yeah, but do we ask this question? Because asking this question will clarify, meaning to say, it will make things clear for us when we go from day to day in our lives. Where should we head towards? What is our destination? And then, can I find real life's true meaning? That is to say, if I'm here now living my life, what is the true meaning, the true worth, the true value of my life? And the other question I would like to talk about also and see whether we can come to some kind of agreement on this is, are all lives equally meaningful? That is to say, in your family, let's take a look at the family that you are born in. Is your purpose the same as your parents' purpose? And then after that, if you have your own children, what are you living for? And what will your children be living for? Is it the same? Or do the roles change every generation? Or do the roles change according to time? That means every few years, we change our purpose. So this, I would say, is a very important question to let us have direction. Because if we don't have purpose, it's very easy to get lost, isn't it? It's like a ship that is sailing on the sea. If you don't know where you want to go, you cannot direct the ship. Yeah, you cannot aim for where you want to go. So therefore, if you have a focus, if you have a destination, if you have a purpose, I say, this is my opinion, yeah, and you might not agree with me. If we have a destination, then we can point to that destination and slowly, according to our effort, according to our energy, we can head towards it little bit by little bit, sometimes faster, sometimes maybe slower, but it's all right. At least we know where we want to go. Supposing this morning, you want to come to SJBA Vihara, you just go to the door and you stand there. I don't know where is SJBA Vihara. You will wander about all over the place. And this is the same, I also noticed, this is what happens to people whose mind are not sound. The mind is not working well. For example, people with dementia and Alzheimer's. Yeah, the other day on one of my WhatsApp chat group, somebody said, my father walked out the gate and I don't know where is my father now. Yeah, actually the father-in-law. He wanted to go and pump petrol in his car. And the petrol station is not very far away. But sometimes his father-in-law gets confused about directions. So he went to the, supposedly he wanted to go to the petrol station, and that was at 10 o'clock in the morning. Around 1 o'clock, he didn't come back. So they all started getting worried. He had a handphone, but he doesn't know how to use the handphone very well. The great thing was, around 3 o'clock, he phoned back. He borrowed somebody's handphone, yeah, and he can remember the house number. And so he called the house, the landline. He remembered the landline because he was the one who connected many years ago. He applied for the landline and then he got it. So he remembered the number and he told them, I am so in this place, somewhere in KL, but quite far away. Then they asked him, how did you get there? He said, I really don't know. He got lost. No direction. So he got lost. So they said, can you wait there? I will come and get you. But as he was waiting there, he also moved. He was supposed to wait, but he moved again. And so with the result that only on midnight of that day, they were able to bring him home. He kept moving around, no sense of direction. So if we don't know our purpose, we might end up like that. We go out, but we don't know where we want to go to. We are not sure of the directions. So we just start wandering and wandering and wandering around. And then our family will get very concerned and very worried, try to contact us, but they also don't know. So there's a great similarity, I think, with what we hope to discuss and this kind of situation. But luckily for this man, my friend's family, they were very happy that at the end of the day, the father came back to the house. Right. There are, last count, 7.9 billion people on this earth. It's quite a lot. 7.9. So one question I ask is, do they wonder about the purpose of being born? There's so many of us, do we really wonder? When they wake up in the morning, at certain times of their lives, do they ever think, what am I doing here? I am existing, I am living, I have family, I have friends, I am doing something every day. What is the purpose of my life? So it would be quite useful to us, to our lives, if we gave it some thought. So this is what happens to us. There are super solar storms, there are asteroids, there are comets. Do you know there was a comet flying over Sabah this morning? Did you see the news? It was wonderful. There were a few pieces coming down. I saw it on the Twitter feed this morning when just before coming. So these comets come down to Earth, all the time. Do you know all the time? Right? And there was a big comet. That's why I show this picture. It hit the Earth and it destroyed almost all the life on this Earth. The dinosaurs died. And if there were dinosaurs, maybe we won't be around because the dinosaurs will eat us. Luckily, no dinosaurs, so more human beings. So there are exploding supernova, tsunamis, earthquakes, sinkholes. The sinkholes are very scary things. The hole open in the ground and then we fall inside. There were sinkholes on the road a few months ago. Viruses, you know about the virus. That's why we wear this mask now. Bacteria, wars, nuclear accidents, volcanoes, climate change, etc., etc. They are all trying to kill us. So what I'm trying to say is, it's very dangerous to be a human being on this planet. Because there have been, over the course of history, 6 times our population went down very, very low. That means the human beings that were on this earth, for 6 times, it went down to below 10%. That means, what did I say? 7.9 billion. It went down to less than, definitely less than 1 billion at that time, if another extinction event occurs. 6 times it has happened here. And then after that, human beings came up again, and now there are so many of us on this planet Earth. So, according to statistics, we live an average of about 76.5 years. So many of you are much older than me, so you are further later on the scale. To some of us, Yeah, the future is less than the past. But for you, your future is more than your past. So what do we do in that time? Are we going to wait for death to catch us and just live and live and live our lives with no definite purpose? So these are the questions I pose to you. And hopefully, in about 40 minutes, yeah, we can have a lively discussion. Please keep thinking about this. Yeah. And these are actual truths. If you think what I'm saying is not really reliable, you can go and do research. Yeah. Many times we have been hit, many times like ice age and viruses. The plague, the Black Death, the previous one, the Spanish flu, almost killed, I think almost killed, if I'm not wrong, 40% of the world's population. Yeah, the last virus in the 17th, 18th century killed many, many people, and they didn't have a vaccination for that. So let's go on. I've looked at what people say about life, and some people say my life has no purpose. So they're very happy about that. My life no purpose, no. And then they say that, which is why you are doing great. They are very happy. They don't think about life. Then there are some people say we are here for no purpose unless we can invent one. So there are some very clever people. The person who said this, I'm sorry, it's a little bit blur, is one of my favorite authors called Kurt Vonnegut. He's written some very thought-provoking fiction books. And so this is what he said. We are here for no purpose unless we invent one. But the one that I like very much, so I put a thumbs up, is the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. So this is very thought-provoking, yeah, and it has led me to look further into what people say so that I can share it with you this morning. So many people have thought about it. Yeah, we are not the only people to consider, this question of what is the purpose. So let's look at the people who have purpose and the people who have no purpose in their lives. So we are seeking generally in our lives, many of us, the 7.9 billion human beings on this earth, to them, it is natural to look for power, to look for fame, to look for wealth. And this is how we grow up. When we are young, our parents said, you must work hard so that you have wealth. You have a lot of things. You own things, you have money to spend, etc., etc. You can enjoy yourself. And then with your wealth, you can buy things, people will get to know you. Yeah, and then you will maybe have some kind of power, authority in your community, which means to say, whatever you say, people will listen to you. And then they will at least think. But the further I go in my preparation, I found that it is not necessary that people with wealth, people with fame, and people with power necessarily really find that their life is satisfactory. They don't find that their life is happy. So what do? There are people, when they find their lives don't really mean a lot, there's no purpose in their lives, what do? They kill themselves. So I've shown you here, I haven't put the names, but I'm not sure whether you recognize some of them. Yeah. There are some famous faces, but because you are of different ages, you might not recognize the one of the older generation. There is this guy from Linkin Park. Do you know Linkin Park? Yeah. Oh, well, okay lah. Yeah, he's on that side. Chris Bennington. Linkin Park at one time was the most famous musical band in the world. You know Linkin Park. But this guy, having been found success, he killed himself. So it was absolutely confusing and puzzling why Chris Bennington chose to end his life when he was so famous, so wealthy, so well liked. People liked him. And there are all these people here, some of which I'm sure you know. So they had money, they had fame, yeah. Some of them have power. They were successful people, much more money than us, but they didn't want to live anymore. Why was that? You know, it's very puzzling. It's doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So I looked further into this as well. Right. So I would think, and I would propose this to you. Yeah. If we have a purpose, if we look at this, what's been happening to the rich and famous of the world, purpose gives meaning to life. If we have a purpose, our life will have meaning. Our life will mean something. That means we are doing things that affect the world, hopefully for the better. So it's good if we know what our purpose is. And then a life with true meaning, has purpose. So we can see those people in the world throughout history, when they found their purpose, they began to do great things for the world, most of them, right? So let's take a look at Asian wise men. Yeah. So one of the wisest is, of course, Confucius. You know Confucius, yeah? And in his scheme of thinking about doing good for the world, he said, it is easier to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things work. All good things are difficult to achieve and bad things are easy to get. This is the words of Confucius, whose philosophy has influenced the lives of many, not just Chinese, but many people in Asia. The more I travel, the more I understand how much Confucianism has seeped into the thinking and the lives of Asian people. But he also goes to say, the more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. So this is connected to purpose. It's connected to changing ourselves, in order to affect the world. So Confucius definitely had a purpose. Yeah, his purpose was to teach the world, teach the people in his country, to direct themselves to become better. Better country, better family, and family was very important to Confucius, a better self. So that was his purpose. But there are some people who also see a different side of life. This man, Viktor Frankl, and I will say something about him. He was a neurologist, a psychiatrist, and he survived the Holocaust during World War II. If you don't know what the Holocaust was, it was an effort by Adolf Hitler to get rid of one entire race. This man, who was so powerful and so wealthy, he was the Chancellor of Germany at that time. He hated the Jewish people. He wanted to wipe every Jewish person from this earth. Luckily, he didn't succeed. He killed 6 million Jews during this period called the Holocaust. And so he put them into, you can see the small picture, he put them into concentration camps where 6 million of them died. And so, why is he famous? Dr. Frankl, because he was a psychiatrist, he began to observe the people in the concentration camps along with him. Some of them very quickly died. They arrived, few weeks later, they died. And some, like him, survived the entire time at the concentration camp until the end of the war, where he was released, back into society. They opened people who were suffering there were let back into society. So he began to think, why do some people die so easily in the concentration camps? And why do some people survive every day with this positive frame of mind? And as he thought about it, he concluded that those with purpose, those with a reason to live, they actually lived. Those oh yeah, those who lost their purpose, very quickly they will die. They died. So it was very interesting. And then when Dr. Frankl came out, the war ended, he began to teach people about how to have purpose in their life. And he found that those people who have purpose in their lives were much happier, more productive, and more confident in their lives than people with no purpose. And he came out with this statement. I hope you will consider it. He said, when a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure. We can see that in many of the world's famous people. Those who wake up in the morning to do something for others, they drive themselves. They become fulfilled, satisfied due to the purpose. Those who have no purpose, what do? They only think about what to eat, what to enjoy, what to hear, what to... Yeah. How do they enjoy themselves? Day after day, after hour after hour. I can see in Buddhist societies here, you can see the people who are organizing this morning. They come here, they wake up, they come here to get everything ready for us so that we can learn the Buddha's teachings. There are many out there on Sunday morning having dim sum. Or they drive up the Genting Highlands. Or they go fishing. Or they go for a drink with their friends. But you, my dear brothers and sisters, you have a purpose. And I hope your life is better for this purpose. You can think about your friends and relatives. Ask them, come to SJBA. Spend 1 hour. They said, no. I'm not interested. I go and do other things. Yeah, there used to be people who would drop their children here for the Sunday Dhamma school, and they will go out for breakfast. And after a long breakfast, they come back to pick their children. I'm sorry, I'm telling you what I have observed. So they have no purpose. Yeah, but there are people here who work week after week, month after month, year after year to benefit the Buddhist community. Their mind is always thinking, what can I do for others? That's their purpose. Well, of course, it doesn't mean they don't enjoy themselves. Every now and then they go for bak kut teh or something. I don't know what is Fukin Chow mean. Of course, we enjoy, but Our mind is not all the time thinking about enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. So you can see the difference in the focus of lives. One wants to live for this, the other one wants to live just for that. And I'm sure I don't have to say more. You can recognize this, within the people that you know. So a very famous German philosopher also said, he is really famous and I admire him, Friedrich Nietzsche. Yeah, he said, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. If you know why you are living, how you live sure can work out. There are some people who could not survive the pandemic. They have no reason to live, so they became depressed. The cases of depression and mental anxiety rose these past 2 years with the result last year, that every month there were 5 cases of suicide. So they don't have a reason to live. Therefore, very easy for them to give up, the difficulties of the pandemic. So this is why I'm trying to make the case that it is important to have a why. Why are you living? Why are you alive? Have that reason. Give it some consideration. And I'd like to share this very interesting fact with you. In the world, there are what you call the blue zones. Have you heard of the blue zones? These are places on the earth where people live to be about 100, sometimes more than 100. They are the longevity hotspots. For some reason, the people in these places I have mentioned, one of which is in Okinawa in Japan, they live very, very long lives, way above the average for us. As I said just now, our average in Malaysia is 76.5 years. But they live very often to 95, 100, and even more. And sociologists and scientists study them and found it is not just what they eat. It is not just the quality of the air and the environment. These sociologists have found they live longer because they have a purpose. And their purpose is to look after the next generation, to nurture the younger ones in their community. So they teach the younger ones how to make kites, how to carve little puppets and dolls, how to use poetry and language. So they live very long because they look forward to teaching the younger people all this knowledge and skills. So it's very important to have a direction as we stop our work. When we are no longer in the working life, we need to have direction. We cannot just have no direction and stay at home and look for enjoyment. It's not enough. After a while, we will run out of steam. And then many people, their mind, their brain will not work very well after that. So let me go on. The conclusion that I have come to, as I did my research, is that there is no common purpose for human beings. Many people, such as the writer I introduced you to, he said there is no purpose in our life. 7.9 billion people, they have no purpose to live. And the more I think about it is true. Actually, it is true. Many people have no purpose to live. As long as they can live, they are happy. They want to enjoy day after day. That's their purpose. So they don't have anything actually to live for. But we can find our own purpose. That is the thing. We find a reason for us to live. Because when you talk to others in society, you ask them, they really do not know. There are those, and now I would like to focus my sharing a little bit. There are those who subscribe to a religion. And most religions in this world, they have a God. Yeah, they pray to a God. So the purpose of this religion, the people who pray to the God, is to connect with the God again. When you ask those faiths, what is your purpose? They said, I want to see God after my death. So that's their purpose. But there are many, and to tell you the truth, many people have given up on religion. If you ask them what is your purpose, they really do not know. Especially those in the West, they have given up on the traditional religions, which is why they say, I have no purpose. I will just get by day to day, year to year. That's what I do. So, what else is there? It is to look at it from a Buddhist perspective. As a Buddhist, as somebody who follows the Buddha's teachings, can we develop a purpose? Can we have a reason based on Buddhist principles? How do we live a life following the Buddha's teachings? Is it possible? So, let me share with you a few words from my teacher, the late Venerable K.C. Dhammananda. And he said, in one of his books, he said, the important point about life is that we have it. We are alive. We are not dead. People will die. But late Chief said, we are alive. And therefore, we must make the best use of our life. Yeah, don't just think about what to enjoy. This indeed is the great value of life, my teacher said. Many people lead narrow, unhappy, and depressed lives because they do not make the best use of life. They just live, and then after that they find, oh, why am I so unhappy? Why am I so unsatisfied, dissatisfied? So, late Chief said, they spend most of their time worrying and struggling for survival, working like slaves, and confronting enormous problems and hindrances. We spend more energy in the battlefield, fighting for survival, fighting for power, fighting for gain, fighting for name, fighting for pleasure, and fighting to be free from danger. We are very lucky in this country because the environment is very safe. Nobody is trying to shoot us or bomb us. But I can tell you, I have had students when I was teaching in the university, students who ran away from bombs. And one of my students said from the Middle East, the whole neighborhood she was staying in was being bombed by people. And she couldn't leave the house. She said anytime a bomb could have hit her house and she would have died. But luckily she didn't die. Yeah, she ran away and she came to Malaysia. And she said life here is so different from where she came from. Yeah, in those places, in those countries, people can die anytime. So I looked at the news in Ukraine. I've seen people just go to buy groceries, they get shot. Just leaving the house to buy milk and bread, they never come back because somebody shoots them. It's a very dangerous environment. So we are lucky in that we can move about quite freely. Nobody is going to attack us. Nobody is going to bomb us. So late chief also said, occasionally we do gain a bit of momentary emotional satisfaction, but every pleasure will end with suffering, because everything, we have to think about this, everything we enjoy must come to an end. And then when it comes to an end, we think about the next thing to enjoy. It's a cycle. It's round and round and round and round. Right? Oh, what else is there? We must appreciate the fact that human life is very rare. The Buddha said, although there are 7.9 human beings, all of us are very lucky because there are more beings, living things in this earth that are not human. So in this sutta, the Buddha said, human life is very rare. It is like a turtle swimming in the sea. We throw a piece of wood with a hole. This turtle swims around the world and suddenly pops up in the hole of the wood we have thrown. It is very difficult to get that kind of situation. We are like the turtle, pop up the head in this floating wood of thrown out in the sea. Actually, we don't know how lucky we are. But when we take a look at the worms and the fish and all the other beings, small, small ones, there are many, many of them, which we could be reborn as. So to be a human being, we must appreciate this lucky situation, fortunate situation, right? So I also like to share before I end, and I definitely have to continue. I don't want to take too much time. Some words from Venerable Brahma Bangso, Ajahn Brahm. You know Ajahn Brahm. He's actually living in Australia, but he was born in Britain. He said, so many people are unhappy today because their expectation of themselves and of life are too high. They want a lot. If you are not in the place you want to be right now, move where you want to be in your current situation. Adjust your expectations, and then you will be satisfied with life. So basically, what Ajahn Brahm said was, don't simply accept the normal life. Don't just say, I'm here, I'm stuck, I can't go anywhere. You must make the effort to improve your life. Because as human beings, we are able to think for ourselves and do things for ourselves and others. Of course, when we are older, and we have some ability, we can do a lot to help others and ourselves as well. So this, just one more slide. Right. Buddhists do not accept that there is a grand plan. Some people say, oh, there's a plan made for us. Buddhists said no such thing. Anything can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Anyone, can suddenly have good things and suddenly can have bad things happen to them. So human beings live their life according to their desires and the need to survive. But we have to understand, although we are human beings, our life is very short. We don't have a long time on this earth. Some people have shown you, they live a long time. But we generally, as I said just now, our average lifespan is 76.5 years. So let us make use of this through knowing our purpose, knowing what we should do, knowing the best direction to take. And here I've written, some wise ones understand reality and look for a way to live life more meaningfully. So that at the end of our life, we can say, my life has been good. I have not wasted my life. I have not wasted my strength. I have not wasted my energy. So thank you for your kind attention. brothers and sisters, I'm not sure whether we have time to have some discussion. Definitely, I will follow up on what I have shared today in a future session. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Brother Siang Chye, for the Dhamma talk this morning. We do have about 5 minutes plus or so to have a little bit of question and answers or discussion. And I think Brother Siang Chye will be here to answer any questions that arise before the Bante takes over with the blessings and the rest. So is there any questions from any one of you? Yeah.
Or you would like to share your opinion, yeah, about this topic? Say, I'm sure you are thinking about this because I've shared with you some very strong ideas. Do you agree or do you not agree? It's good to think about it. Prepare ourselves, yeah, to do what we think is good for the world.
This morning's Dhamma sharing is a very profound and very deep, thought-provoking to challenge us to think beyond our routines of our life. And so I think that's a good thought-provoking thing. Buddhists, if we don't provoke our thoughts, we are just going through a routine. But if we provoke our thoughts, then we are trying to find a purpose and meaning. And nevertheless, any questions from anyone on the floor? Yes. Jim. I think the question, just to repeat for the benefit of those online, how do we define the purpose of life? Since we are talking about purpose, what is the purpose? Just to paraphrase the question, Brother Siang Chye.
To prepare for the talk, I listened to many people share their ideas on this topic. I've also read articles. Many of these clever people came to the conclusion there is no grand purpose of life. We make our own purpose according to how we see ourselves and the world. So it's very simple as that. What I'm trying to say, yeah, and share is meaning. Meaning means there's value. We are doing something for others and ourselves. That is meaning. That means when we do our work, when we contribute to others, their lives become better. No longer the same. So there is meaning there because we help to raise their body and their mind, yeah, in terms of how they experience life. So that's meaning. So the meaning comes from the purpose. So there are many great people who have given their lives to help others. So their purpose is to give meaning to other people's lives. And in that way, they bring meaning to their own lives. You know, the great leaders of this world, and one of them is, of course, Mother Teresa. I don't know whether you know Mother Teresa. She spent her entire life helping the poor and the destitute, people living in squatter conditions. The house is only enough for one body to walk between house and house. The space is one human body so that they can walk and get to the house. And when it rains, the rain will fill the whole place. If you have been to India and travel on your own, not on an organized tour, you will know what I'm talking about. I backpacked through India and I've seen different people live in different ways. There were those that were Bollywood style level, very rich. And I've seen people live in houses that share just one bulb, the whole house. One bulb. Yeah, not here we have so many bulbs. Yeah, and then when you go to the holy places and you offer candles, if you don't look after your candle, within few minutes the candle is gone. You offer to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you walk around, come back, your candle is gone. Why? These people have taken the candles. They have no light in their house. So Mother Teresa went to help them. So her purpose was to make their lives better. So you can see what of energy, what kind of compassion and loving kindness she had. Yeah, of course, she is well known. It doesn't mean that Buddhists don't have. You look at the people at the Chye Foundation, yeah, they are usually the first to arrive in any global catastrophe. Yeah, they spend their own money to travel there to help the people. They are first responders, actually. They are the first to be there. Even before the Red Cross and the United Nations, they will be there. So you can see how people dedicate themselves to a purpose. Their lives have meaning. If you take them away, there is a hole in the world. But if you take us away, is there a hole? Sometimes people, hey, what happened to Brother Siang? I don't know, he's gone somewhere. People don't know about this hole. There's no vacuum. But those important people who help others, when they are gone, there's a vacuum in the world. Now, that's how important and how much they give to the world. So, as I said, Brother Jim, we find our own purpose. Most of the 7.9 billion, yeah, they don't know what is their purpose unless they make one for themselves. Then their lives have meaning. Then their lives are worth living. This is what I mean. And later on, of course, I will share the Buddha's view of this and how we can live not just for others but for ourselves. How it can be really meaningful and beneficial to be living a life.
Thank you, Brother Siang Chye, for that. We invite now Brother Siang Chye to take your seat. Thank you once again for the inspiring Dhamma sharing. And one of the key takeaways I find very useful this morning is we need to find our purpose, and we need to know the purpose, and we make the purpose the meaning of life. And it's such a profound and deep, thought-provoking topic this morning that now I can't help but to feel that I also need to seek purpose and meaning in whatever we do. Sometimes it takes us to challenge ourselves and challenge the way we look at things. And I think this is not the only talk that will talk about this. Subsequently, we will have other Sundays that will also get us into that, reflective way to understand more. I think sometimes people like to ask questions. So what's the purpose? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? Actually, the answers is there's no seeking outside, but rather it is within, and what we can do for ourselves, our life, and the lives of those around us. So thank you very much once again, Brother Siang Chye, for this inspiring Dhamma sharing and a good reminder for all of us here not to take life for granted, to live with a life of purpose and meaning. So with that, we have coming almost to the end of the Dhamma talk, for the Dhamma Sunday service session. Would like to now invite once again Bante to give us the blessings.
Okay, so then to conclude our Sunday Buddha Puja service, let us have a blessing of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Sabhitiyo vivajjantu sabrogo vinansato mate bhavanvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sambha
Akantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhamtu sabba devata sabba nubhavena sada soti bhavantu te Sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanganubhavena sada soti bhavantu te mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba nubhavena Sada soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te mangalang rakhantu sabba devata Nubhavena sada soti bhavantu te.
Sharing and transferring merits. So today, reflect back. You have done a good meritorious deeds today by observing five precepts, and as well as doing the Buddha Puja chanting and listening the Dhamma. All these are meritorious deeds. So let us share all the merits with all the devas, all the departed relatives, and all other sentient beings. Recite together. Akasattha ca bhummatta deva naga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakantu lokasasana chirang rakantu desana chirang rakantu mangparang Ettavata ca ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampanti sindhya. Transfer merit to departed one. Idang me ñātenang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātenang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātenang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Sharing means to all the sentient beings. Imang no punya bagang mata pito nanche acharya nanche sabba sata nanche sabba mita nanche sabba nyati nanche sabba peta nanche sabba devata nanche bhajema. Imang no punya bagang sabah satanang dema sabbe satta
Kita
sukita
hontu.
hontu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bante, for the blessings as well as leading us in the transference of merits. We have officially come to the end of the Sunday service session, but we would like to first invite everybody to be also participating in Dana, which is going to happen in the annex hall. And so, first of all, I'd like to thank Bante for graciously conducting today's puja and to bring us to a very spiritual experience. So, with that, let us take our bows to the Triple Gem and to also pay our respects before we proceed to the next thing. Buddhang Puji Dhammang Puji Sanghang Puji Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. A few announcements. Please join us again next week for our Patidana session. And please also see you again in the next coming sessions as well. So Bante, respectfully, we invite Bante to proceed to the Dana Hall. Let us.
Bahung sahan semabhinim mitesayudantang ngirimi kelang udita Sasene marang Dana di Dhamma